The Denver Broncos just doubled down, and I'm here for every second of it. Sean Payton isn't losing a wink of sleep over what anyone thinks about his preseason starters. In fact, if you asked him how much he cares about the critics, his answer would be somewhere between 0 and nothing at all. During training camp, NFL analyst Kay Adams got a front-row seat to Payton's mindset, and he's raising the bar even higher than it was before the preseason even kicked off. After joint practices, after every drill, after every rep, his message was clear. This team is aiming higher than anyone thinks. Back at the Super Bowl, Payton told Adams something that now feels even more important. I feel really good about our wide receiver room. And he meant it. He didn't chase the flashy names. He didn't go after big-ticket free agents. He didn't even attempt to lure guys like Cooper Kupp, Stefon Diggs, or Keenan Allen. Payton's words carry weight because when he says it, it's not talk, it's a promise. Last season, Adams revealed that Payton told her quietly but confidently, "We're not going to win 5 games. We're going to be really good. We're going to make the playoffs." And now, she says that same confidence hasn't just returned, it's been cranked all the way up to 11. That's the level of belief Kay Adams brought straight to Sean Payton, and if he didn't think those things were true, this would have been the moment to pump the brakes. This would have been the time for a little coach speak, maybe a quick, "Those comments were taken out of context." But Sean Payton didn't walk it back, not even close. Instead, Adams doubled down on her praise. She even left a message for the Denver media during training camp that read, "See you in Levi's Stadium in February." And that's not just a casual note. Levi's Stadium is where the Super Bowl will be played. Why such confidence? Because she knows Sean Payton. She knows that when he's projecting this much belief in his team, it's not for show, it's because he's certain. Reporters have noticed it too. Payton has already set a new mark for his longest press conference this season at 33 minutes, and even in shorter sessions, the confidence is unmistakable. After an 18-minute presser, while social media was melting down over the Broncos' preseason performance, Payton wasn't rattled. He wasn't defensive, he was steady, and he put the focus where it belongs. When asked point-blank what makes him believe this team can win a Super Bowl, his answer was simple: it starts with our defense. A unit that was already one of the best has gotten even better, incredibly better, in his own words. And then he made it clear. When free agents decide where to go, the first thing they look at is the quarterback. And Denver has theirs in Bo Nix. Payton isn't selling hope. He's selling reality, and he's all in. Sean Payton could have played it safe. He could have used the classic coach language to cool the hype, to pour water on the fire. But instead, he poured gasoline on it. Criticism has been swirling after the Broncos' preseason game, and Payton addressed it head-on. The first talking point on local radio was running back R.J. Harvey. Some claimed he bounced outside too often, pointing to a single screenshot as evidence. The question came, was Payton upset about Harvey's decisions? His answer came with a grin. "I'm not worried about it whatsoever." He promised fans they'd see Harvey hit the inside lanes plenty this season. Confidence, not concern. Then came the second critique, the punting situation. Why have only one rookie punter, a player who's only been in the U.S. for 3 years and didn't even grow up watching football? Payton doubled down again. He said this rookie has a crazy bright future. And when Hall of Fame punter Thomas Morstead, nearly 2 decades in the league, tells you, "You've got a real good one here," you listen. 2 of the biggest preseason concerns? Payton brushed them aside without hesitation. He's not just confident, he's unwavering. If Sean Payton was concerned, he'd say it. This is a coach who doesn't hide frustration when it's there. He'll call it out directly and fix it. After the preseason game in San Francisco, one thing did bother him: the team's flight delay. They didn't land back in Denver until 3 a.m., and Payton made it clear that's not acceptable. But this is where his attention to detail shines. He's not just a strategist, he's a master of preparation. He studies players' sleep patterns, adjusts schedules, and ensures the roster is given proper recovery. He knows you can't demand peak performance without giving the body time to reset. Payton also reflected on the joint practice with the 49ers, admitting it ran longer than he wanted. That extra workload, he believes, impacted the team's preseason performance. So today's session was a ramp-up day, lighter work, players in shells, no tackling to the ground. Even in a scaled-back practice, some players stood out. Jonathan Cooper was a force, relentless, intense, and disruptive. Pair him with Nick Bonito, and you've got one of the most dangerous young pass rush duos in the league. Sure, TJ Watt might be the gold standard individually, but the Cooper-Bonito tandem brings a unique, explosive chemistry. And the depth doesn't stop there. Behind them is Jonah Ellis, whose PUF grade from the preseason opener was sky-high. Add in Dandra Tillman and the promising Q Robinson, and this Broncos pass rush is loaded with talent, hunger, and the ability to wreck games. The Broncos are back to having a full platoon of edge rushers, and that's a problem for every offense they face. Bo Nix did have a moment in practice where it looked like he was running for his life. The move-it period ended with an interception by Jaquan McMillian, intended for Michael Bandy. The pressure? Jonathan Cooper breaking through and beating Frank Crum on the edge. But let's keep perspective, this wasn't the starting offensive line. Cooper and Bonito are one of the top pass rush duos in football, and Crum is a developmental depth piece. He's got tools, speed, size, and potential, but he's still learning under Zach Strief's coaching. Ideally, he's not taking meaningful snaps this season unless needed. On the offensive side, advanced preseason analytics revealed something exciting. Marvin Mims is being integrated into the offense far more than before. Fans have been calling for him to be more than a gadget player, and it's happening. Out of the 19 snaps Bo Nix took at quarterback, Mims was on the field for 16 of them. That's a clear signal. The Broncos are preparing to unleash his speed and route running as a core weapon, not just a punt return specialist. Last season, Marvin Mims was often used in gadget looks, lined up in creative formations, but not consistently as a true wide receiver. Only about half of his snaps came at an actual wideout spot. This year, that's changed. In the preseason opener, 15 of his 16 snaps were lined up as an outside receiver. No gimmicks, just pure wideout work, and that changes everything. Picture this. A crossing route combination with Pat Bryant and Marvin Mims. Defenses will have nightmares trying to cover both without giving up separation. This isn't trickery, it's execution. When this offense clicks, it's going to be dangerous. And make no mistake, after hearing the criticism all week, the Broncos are going to be fired up in joint practices. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are walking into Denver to face a team that's been told they're not as good as they think. A team that just dismantled the 49ers but is still being doubted. That's a dangerous mindset for an opponent to face. On top of that, rookie cornerback Jabbaran has been turning heads. In his first NFL action, he posted a 78.3 PUF grade, one of the highest among all rookies in the preseason's opening stretch. You can find a running back in the third round, but a shutdown caliber corner? That's rare, and Denver might have just stolen one. Sean Payton gets to have his cake and eat it too. The Jabbaran pickup isn't just good, it's the kind of move that's going to look even smarter as time goes on. Earlier in camp, Payton mentioned he was ticked off about 14 things. Now that number has grown to 17. When pressed for details, most of them weren't about on-field execution, they were about preparation and logistics. Things like booking a hotel next to a loud festival on a West Coast trip, forcing players to deal with time zone changes and sleepless nights. These might seem like small issues, but to Payton, they're everything. His attention to detail is unmatched, and his ability to connect with players while still holding them to the highest standard is rare in today's NFL. He wasn't everyone's first choice when he came to Denver, but he's proven exactly why New Orleans fans called him one of the best coaches in the league. And now, he's all in for the Broncos. On the injury front, there was one concern. Edge rusher Nick Bonito tweaked his foot in the preseason game after a pressure. Even while limping, he refused to come out, registering 2 pressures on quarterback M. Jones before the series ended. Payton expects him back in practice tomorrow, which is huge news for a pass rush that's already among the league's most dangerous. Meanwhile, the 49ers, Denver's recent joint practice opponent, continue to suffer injuries, with key players dropping out at an alarming rate. The Broncos? They're getting healthier, hungrier, and more locked in. This isn't about taking shots at the 49ers, they're a strong, well-run organization. But it is about celebrating what the Denver Broncos are doing right when it comes to injury prevention. Payton's approach is deliberate. Ramp players up gradually, building their readiness step by step. You don't prevent injuries by keeping players out entirely and then throwing them straight into full-speed action. That's a recipe for breakdowns. The Broncos' method, steady build-up, smart workload management, is keeping their roster healthy. And the results speak for themselves. As San Francisco sees more players land on injured reserve, Denver's projected Week 1 starters are on track to be fully ready. No key pieces are sidelined. No major setbacks. It's a phenomenal place to be, healthy, confident, and ready to attack the season. Everything about this team's preparation says one thing: they believe.